Welcome to Ground Control. I want to talk a little bit about the Glue and Fly Series F-22 Micro version 2. And as the title describes, this is a dust-off flight, but it's also a bit of a demonstration flight of this Parkjet. And the reason I'm showing you this and talking about this Parkjet is I'm going to be releasing the plans to YouTube subscribers in the next 2 or 3 weeks. I just need to get the documentation updated on it. Currently it has only been available to patrons of Ground Control RC, but I'm going to be releasing it for public consumption, public build. So this is my favorite micro aircraft, not just Parkjet, but micro aircraft. And because it was designed for a center weight distribution from top to bottom, side to side, nose to tail, it has very good tight axial rolls. It pivots very quickly and very smoothly. It doesn't take a lot of effort from the servos to make this thing pitch or roll. And it has a very wide flight envelope. You can fly it fairly slow and you can fly it very fast. And it has, on a 3S Lipo, has a very good acceleration, and also it'll perform a vertical climb until your battery gives up. I think it has a 2.5 to 1 thrust to weight ratio. When I actually post the plans, I'll go over all the details of the plane and some tips on the build if you guys want to build it. Every aircraft has a weight at which it flies, optimally, and this aircraft is no different. I started flying this with 450 milliamp 2S Lipos and 3S Lipos. You can fly this on a 2S Lipo as well as a 3S Lipo. On a 2S, it's a bit floaty, and it has even better slow flight capability because it's lighter weight, but it also has enough thrust that you can do aerobatics with it. You can still do loops, you can still do rolls, you can do split S maneuvers, even on a 2S Lipo. It just makes it a lot more docile. And then on a 3S Lipo, it's an absolute rocket ship. So it's extremely stable. It's a micro plane, but it flies like a much larger plane, and you'll see that in the flight demonstration, the dust-off flight that we'll be getting to in a minute. But every plane has a weight at which it feels really locked in. It's not too light, it's not too heavy. And the batteries that I have found that work best with this plane as far as weight on a 2S is a GMB 550 milliamp Lipo. I will have a link to it in the show notes. And on the 3S is a GMB 550 milliamp 3S Lipo. And at the weight that the 3S provides on this plane, it's extremely stable. It holds its line, and it just has a really locked-in feel to it, as you'll see in the video. But I have not weighed this plane in quite a while, and I haven't weighed it with these batteries that I'm using in it now. When I first started flying this Parkjet, I was flying it with a 450 milliamp 2S and a 450 milliamp 3S, and I found that while it performs extremely well with those 450 milliamp Lipos that I was using, and it had a pretty locked-in feel, but it feels like it has an even better locked-in feel with the weight of the 550 milliamp Lipo as opposed to the 450 milliamp Lipo. So I'm going to bring the camera in here real quick and put it on the scales, and we'll see what it weighs with a 2S and with a 3S Lipo. It's going to be way under the 250 gram limit in the United States for having to register with the FAA. So that's another benefit of this micro plane. It is a sub 250 gram plane. Let's bring our scale in here, grab our batteries. Okay. So I will try and get this situated so that you can actually see the numbers on the scale. Alright, let's see, let's move this around a little bit. Now, hopefully you can see those numbers. All right, first, the airframe itself is 97.6 grams, and with the 2S 550 milliamp LiPo, we are at 132.1 grams, well under the 250 gram limit. And with the 550 milliamp 3S LiPo, we are at 150.6 grams, all up weight, way under the 250 gram limit. So let's go ahead and back out of here. So now I'll meet you out in the field. We'll do our dust-off demonstration flight. See you out there.
Okay, I'm out here with the Glue & Fly Series F-22 Micro version 2. Let's see what direction the wind is coming from now. Let's get a couple more flights on this little Micro Parkjet. One thing that I'm really happy with on this little Micro Parkjet is that it doesn't fly like a micro. It flies like a much bigger plane. Even at slow speed, look at its line. Look how stable it is in the air. Now we only have about a 3-mile-an-hour wind out here this morning. But this is an extremely lightweight Micro Parkjet. And it has tons of power. Now look how it holds its line. That is awesome for a micro. Especially as light as this one is. Very tight axial rolls. Very wide flight envelope. I am just so happy with this Parkjet. This thing will climb vertical until your battery gives out. I know it's probably a little hard to see this morning because it is really overcast. I've flown a lot of microplanes. I don't think I have another microplane, factory or otherwise, that flies as well as this one does. I mean, look at that. Absolutely love it. This thing is so aerobatic, has so much power. Even at extremely slow speed, it holds its line. These plans will be available for YouTube subscribers very soon. So if you've never built one of our aircraft yet and flown it, you might want to start off with this one. And you can run this aircraft with the current power system. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to change the prop or anything. But you can fly this on a 2-cell, or like I'm flying it today, on a 3-cell. And on a 2-cell, it's fairly docile, but it has enough power to do aerobatics with it, split S maneuvers, loops, etc. It won't have unlimited vertical climb like it does with a 3S. But I think it would make a good training park jet too on a 2S system, and it's absolutely a little rocket on a 3S system. And all you have to do is decide whether you want a 2-cell in it or a 3-cell in it. So it's a very versatile aircraft as well. Let's bring it in for a landing. Ta-da! Blue and Fly Series F-22 Micro version 2. I absolutely am so proud of this little Micro Parkjet. So look for the plans soon. I'll be publishing the plans for subscribers of our YouTube channel. You might want to think about building this one. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the air.